Welcome back, folks. Here today with a list from MTGO 50. So let me get the individual's name in the meantime, but this is a Izzet counter burn deck. So the strategy of this deck is to play pretty much all your spells at instant speed. So either counter your opponent's spell or burn the opponent's creatures or face or combination of both. So deck credit goes to Gerschi. We're playing the main board identical to their list. I made changes to the sideboard. I wasn't a fan of how they had their sideboard set up, so I'll walk you through there. But basically, this kind of plays a little like an Simic Flash, but with actual hard removal. 1-drop slots, you got Opt and Shock. Draw card, burn things. Brineborn Cutthroat comes down on 2, grows bigger over time, so there's ways to protect it, as well as scale it up. And then it can also, we have burn spells to get creatures out of the way, so we can attack through. Scorching Dragonfire is a way for us to deal with planeswalkers or creatures. It's basically lightning strike that just doesn't go to face, but has the upside of exile. We have Brazen Borrower, which can be a tempo play of bouncing an opponent's permanent, and then it's a 3/1 flyer. So it's a good way to have an evasive threat. Bonecrusher is early removal, and then it's a 4/3 body on the backside. This is our main way to deal with Ceratops. It being 4 power can allow us to trade up with that. Mystical Dispute is a new card, so basically if we counter a blue spell, it only costs 1 mana to mana leak it. Otherwise it's a 3 mana counter unless opponent pays 3 on it. 4 Ionize, so this is basically the core of the deck, counter spell and a burn spell in 2. 2 effects in 1 card, so we can counter whatever the opponent's coming at us with, and then also deal 2 damage. So this is a way we can continually put pressure on the opponent while still dealing with the stack. 4 Ral's Outbursts. So this deals 3 damage to any target, and then we look at the top 2, put 1 in our hand, 1 in our graveyard. So this is another way we can refill, as well as doing some damage. And then 2 Chandras on the top end. 1 card I may try out. I'm gonna run it for a game first. I might want to play it into the story in this deck. So this is the new card where it's basically costs. What's it? Story. Do I just not own any? Wow, apparently I opened over 150 packs and haven't got an uncommon into the story, so it costs less. So basically it'd be a 4 mana, draw 4 in our deck most of the time. So I may want to play one of those instead of a Ral's Outburst just to keep us like continually drawing. But let's see how the deck plays out first. Mana base wise, 8 duels, effectively 12 with Fabled Passage, and then some basics, and then Scry Castle. We'll see if Scry Castle is where we want to be here, probably, because we'll hold up counters and then we can push it aside if the opponent already has a board state. Sideboard wise, let me switch it up so it's easier to see. Aether Gust versus Gruul thingies. Also, we can count, so you don't counter Ceratops on the stack, but this is a replacement effect, so it's a way we could tempo them out of a Ceratops for a turn. Disdainful Stroke versus Big Things. Negate versus non-creature. Fry versus Teferi decks. Blue decks, Oko decks. Lava Coil versus the Gruul matchups, like more creature-based, another answer to Ceratops. Field of the Dead answer, as well as aggro, and then general catch-all removal. I think with Chandra we're fine. Usually in the sides of these, I do like to play 1 Ral, but we'll see how it goes in the matchups. Just an alternative. This is also usually where you would see like a Niv-Mizzet, but it feels really bad versus all these like Golos decks and just like Teferi bouncing it or Oko making it into an Elk. You just don't get much value. So we are going to be playing some ranked with it. We are at Platinum or Diamond? Platinum 3. So we'll see how it goes here, and we'll take it for a spin. So as always, if you are catching this live, thank you for tuning in on Twitch. The easiest way to know when I go live is to just drop a follow. It'll let you know when I go live, but usually weekdays around 6 p.m. Eastern, I try to come out with a video a day. If you missed any of it, I do put all my past videos up on my YouTube channel, MTG_Joe. So if you can, drop a follow. I think we keep this hand. We can be very aggressive with this hand. And as always, as we wait for the opponent, if you are purchasing physical cards and you do want to help support the channel, I have an affiliate link to TCG Player. I'll put it in my video description on YouTube. If you're purchasing physical cards, just let them know that you came from the channel. You do your purchase as normal, and it helps support out. So Golos field off the bat. So we might be able to out-aggro them this game. I would like a counterspell sooner than later. This could be Flash. But likely Golos. Yeah. So let's get this going. Ionize is what I would really like here. I'm going to go Island here because I want to go Brineborn and Shock just to get the most amount of power on the board. And then we can go from there. We are a little susceptible. They don't have white mana, so I'm a little less worried. This could be the Gates Ablaze version. But I can get this out of burn range at least. Unless they play a third gate. Okay, so they have white. So Time Wipe can be something relevant. Golos next turn is also something we need to be mindful of. Okay, so we have the Brazen Borrower. Just pass the turn. So they have Root. But I just Brazen Borrower here. Okay, so we actually have this. So let's fetch for a mountain. Bounce this. Just do this, doesn't matter. That gives it enough power, and we attack in and we win. Got him! Taking down Golos! Now we get the Flame Sweeps, we get the Disdainful Strokes. So Flame Sweeps, Disdainful Strokes. Probably not Negates. Maybe Aether Gust, you could tempo them. Beacon Bolt, probably. Bonecrusher feels pretty bad in this matchup, to be honest. It gets blocked on the ground. And then Mystical Disputes on the play gets a little bit bad, especially against a ramp deck. Probably just bring in a Negate. Negate doesn't get Grixis, it gets rid of the Time Wipes, but gets rid of Teferi. But we have Burn versus Teferi. Maybe just Aether Gust. We can deal with something on the... Or just play one Giant. Really like... Because Fry doesn't kill Hydrate Grixis. In most cases, they're going to have a bigger than 5 Hydrate Grixis. This is not a hand we can keep. Alright, so we're going to lose this because of sweet RNG. So like the guy who made the list has Ashiok in the side. I usually don't like Ashiok as much in this matchup because it's not good once they already get started. So 2 away. Like Chandra is the way we win. Or I could do Chandra and an island. And then shuffle with Fabled Passage. The Flame Sweep's a good way for us to catch up. Oh, we are keeping double Ionize. Basically, Ionize should be able to deal with the Golos that comes down. They Once Upon a Time now, which usually indicates that they have a Boreal Grazer in hand. Or Growth Spiral. So here they'll be pretty well set up, likely for Field of the Dead on by turn 4. Another reason why I don't like Ashiok as much is now that they have Once Upon a Time, it gets around. Okay, that's actually very good for us. So we're going to get another blue source. Or you know what, let's get a red source just to split the difference. Just pass the turn. So if we could control the 1 card a turn aspect, if they go Golos here. The problem is we can deal with their board, but we also have to be mindful that once field gets going, we have to deal with both what they're playing and their board state, because they'll just get creatures for playing lands. So overall not terrible considering we mulled to 5. We let that resolve. They don't have a land. Okay, so let's opt here. Let's take the passage. I don't think we bounce the Grazer. There's not much utility there. There's no sense of us spending the spell. Let's just pass back to them. If they don't do anything, we could start just Rouse Outbursting at their face. So this needs to go away. That's not where we want to be. Let's go get a blue source. And at this point we could race them a bit. Opponent's teaching us a lesson. So we don't have a counter, which makes this very rough. I'm probably just going to drop the Brazen Borrower. Let's see if they just get frisky. Okay, so they do. So I gotta try to target them in the air this game. So Beacon Bolt, but not enough in the yards. We needed a land there. So I do have Flame Sweep. Get them to try to overcommit. Interesting that they kept Agent against us. I guess it does get Brineborn. Also nice they did this pre-combat. This puts another spell in the graveyard, so Beacon Bolt could get closer to targeting Golos. Okay, Deputy. I'm surprised they... Oh, they're short mana. So I got 4 spells. I think we do this now just because I want to hit a land drop. Ooh. I will take that. It's another way we can put a clock on them. So they do buy themselves a turn. I don't get to hold up Ionize mana here, which is a little rough. And they get to root here. That's going to fix their mana for Golos. They get a ton of zombies. Yeah, that was probably loose. I shouldn't have tapped out there. Ionize was the safer play. And of course we draw into another Chandra. So I do think I need to Beacon Bolt here, the Golos. We take 8, but Chandra could clean up. If we draw land. It's fine. So, we have a shot if we draw land. Our Brazen Borrower does die though, that's the only downside. Until they naturally draw Golos here. Show me a land. I do think that's kind of wrong of a play too. You don't play the land at that point. You have lethal on the board. So land or Flame Sweep and we're still in this game. Okay, it's not the best. We gotta hit ourselves. Again, their sequencing seems odd. Why do you scry before you know what's coming? They bottom both, also encouraging. So if they draw into land as well, what we can do is, because they make 2 lands, so I can Chandra to sweep up again and then plus Chandra. They do this on upkeep. Bottom again. Golos will be difficult to deal with. If we can dodge a turn. Get that Grixis for 5. Okay, so I have to sweep and Beacon Bolt. So not the best.
Everyone knows the bigger explosions are more fun.
Ral's Outburst or Brineborn. I think we just get rid of Ral's Outburst. If they play something, I could Ionize. If not, I drop down Brineborn. And then we have Chandra. But even dropping... You know what? I should have kept this. They're casting that. We will Ionize that. Okay, so it looks like they might not have a follow-up. If we can dodge a land for the turn, Chandra can uptick once. To keep both on top. Ooh, that's actually quite good.
Let's start at a sizzle and see if you make it to the Inferno. Aw, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
So this puts a clock on them. They need to do something quick. If they just Golos, I have Flame Sweep with a negative on Chandra. I could Brineborn here. So that's fine.
Let's get toasty.
Just pass turn. So this one's close. This can go either way. Because I could Brineborn, even if they have Gates Ablaze, I just Flame Sweep it first and then play Brineborn. So they Growth Spiral. This could be the land they want to keep on top. So that's fine. They draw their card. Surprised they didn't scry there. So we Flame Sweep here. We're not quite out of the woods yet, because they have this Fabled Passage, which can make a couple tokens on end step. And we're gonna actually be 1 mana short. We're live to like a Shock, Rouse Outburst, anything like that. So let's thin out our deck. They'll scry. Show me a burn spell. And this was off a Multi 5, which is actually pretty solid. Let's get a mountain just so we can hopefully channel that. Hey, got it. Got it. So as soon as I crack this Fabled Passage...
Or is it getting a little warm in here?
We shock them. Thank you. Enjoyed the game. Feels good beating Golos Field. It feels good beating Golos Field. This deck's pretty sweet. It's got a lot of what I like going on in it. Just gonna give Arena a quick restart. Tends to crash after a little bit. How's everyone doing today? We are 1-0 so far with a Izzet counter burn deck that went 5-0 on MTG Arena. Sideboard's my own modification, but basically looking to disrupt our opponent and burn them out. I think we keep it all the same in that matchup. The Royal Scions maybe. Like Chandra felt really good in that matchup versus Golos Field. Let's run it again. Let's see how it goes. We currently have a sample size of 1 game, so don't want to make any drastic changes to the list just yet. Usually want to play upwards of 3 to 5 games before, or at least against a certain matchup a few times. This hand is a little awkward, but we'll keep it. the thing is, we've got both our castles in our opening hand with a temple. But Mystical Dispute can be very good, especially if we're playing against a blue deck. And then if this finds... I don't like putting Chandra to the bottom of our library. Okay, this could be a couple things. Blue is a good sign for this Mystical Dispute, though. This also means we're not getting turn 2 to Ferried. Okay, so I can't do anything about this Druid. I'm going to keep the island on top, only because I want to be able to hold up Ionize this turn and Mystical Dispute. Wish we had a Brineborn down on this board. Best would be they do Oko. I could shock the Paradise Druid. And I can also opt. Get rid of that. Now we need a threat. There's our threat. So they're not resolving anything. That's a really nice questing beast. So hopefully run him out. If it's like small little dorky things, I'm just gonna Bonecrusher. The opponent doesn't get to have nice things. We are short a little bit of red mana, which is a little awkward. I think we got a little... they're going to refill their hand here. X4. Let's just take them out like that. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. We could burn them for a couple. So I'm going to get punished for the Nisa coming down. That's fine. So I'm just going to do this. Kill it, play a Bonecrusher on an empty board. I'd like to see some card draw now. Like, this is one of the issues with these counter burn decks, is you counter their first wave. Like, now they got a Hydrate Grixis. And we can't really do much about this. Or we can. So I can X2 that. So let's see what they do here. They take the damage.
If you haven't heard of me, then get ready to meet. Oh, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
So Chandra here will put some pressure on them at least. I could put 2 emblems on them. Oh, that's scary. Ah, crap. Alright, we're not beating Questing Beast, so that's the problem against Hydrate Grixis. They just beat you in other ways. So Beacon Bolt's good here, Lava Coil's good, Aether Gusts, and the Disdainful Strokes. Coming out in this matchup, the Bonecrusher Giant seem quite lackluster. Mystical Dispute probably cut down one. Brineborn is fine. Scorching Dragonfire might also need a cut. They could deal with Planeswalkers, could deal with the Nisa tokens, which they most certainly have. They're going to be bringing in Ceratops, So Scorching Dragonfire is another way to deal with that. The Brazen Borrowers go over the top, which is fine. You have to stifle the ability. I'm going to get rid of the Mystical Disputes here. It's a ramp deck. I'm also going to get rid of a Ral's Outburst. Probably... two Ral's Outburst. No, I need... Oh, don't want Flame Sweep. We'll keep a Shock in. We'll take out an Opt. Run it from there. There's that one Simic Hybrid card, the split card, where you could counter target activated ability. That would be the only way to stop it. This hand is not good. This hand is much better. I'm gonna put the Shock away, actually. The Brazen Borrowers can be used as tempo. Because if they put like a ramp creature down on turn 2, I can brazen it back to their hand, set them back on some mana. Yeah, so that's exactly what we'll do here. Perfect. So probably this turn we just brazen to get a threat into play. Start putting some pressure. Okay. Would have liked to see a land there. But we can Aether Gust if they have a Ceratops. Same with the Nisa. That's fine. I don't know why they shocked there. Oh, that's Veil of Summer. Let's Brazen Borrower. So they had the Veil. Quite annoying. I think we opt here. It's a hard counter. So we can take another attack from the Questing Beast. See if they play Ceratops. Okay, so we don't want to see you this turn. Please go away. They have another Veil. I never get utility of this card, and then whenever we play against it, we just get... We're not beating that. Alright, 1-1 with the list. That is a very hard matchup, especially post-board. Thanks for the follow, Jakur. If I'm saying that right. Let's run it back. Not... Like, we had the responses, but like just big dumb green creatures with haste. Because that turn, they would have countered it. They got Nisa, they got 7 power on board. That's going to outrace us. We missed 2 land drops. Keep this hand. Shock on 1, bounce on 2, spell on 3. So this can be likely the Jeskai list, Fire of Inventions. So I'm gonna just Bonecrusher their face and then drop a Bonecrusher next turn. Ooh, Grixis Invention. Jeez, flooding out a bit here. So this just gives us some like offense. Would love a counter spell. Just pass the turn here. Like, my guess is they take this. It's a lot more impactful. What do you want? You want a shock or you want an opt? This is a 2-turn clock as well. Let's thin out our deck. They're also not getting Eco Bolas next turn because they're short a black mana. Jeez, all the lands. Okay, so that'll get them their second black source. The problem is enter the God Eternals. Once you target, it resolves regardless. That'll gain 4 life. My guess is they take down the Brazen Borrower because it's a flyer. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Chandra would be very good here. Or just another land. So just get this off the board. It turns off God Eternals. Played that land because they knew we had it. Drawn. So this is most likely the Grixis Fires of Invention list. Even having that Castle Vantress would have been useful. Just sort through the nonsense. I still think we need to keep this if they have Eco Bolas. So play out the island. Pass turn. Okay, so they have fires. So if they fires, they go Chandra.
I know who I am, and no one is telling you what to do.
That's terrifying. Okay, so that's their second spell for the turn. So we gotta bounce that. Play that. And then just try to race them. We're not winning this long game now.
No pressure.
Okay, we got another shock. That's another 2 damage. Just hold this in hand. The reason we didn't bounce this is we can't counter it. If we drew a counter spell for fires, it keeps us on there. They might be inclined with Chandra to down tick on the Brazen Borrower, which they do.
Glad I can help with your not being on fire problem.
They will fires here and then likely play another spell. Yeah, they got Bolus. Which if I were them, I would use Chandra's ability to put a faster clock on us.
No, my intellect is without limits.
So we just gotta try to burn their face. Like, there's no way I win this now. Brazen could bounce Chandra. It comes down. Okay, let's give it one more turn. I feel like there's too many lands in this deck. So we made them waste the Thought Erasure. This also makes that the fires will be the only other card they get to cast this turn.
Your defiance is infuriating. I outsmarted you eons ago.
I really think they should just be plussing double Chandra here. It seems way more reasonable. They might as well just set up the fires for next turn. So I pretty much need the... Yeah, that's not going to do it. Bolus just eats away at our hand. Alrighty. Grixis pile. So in this matchup, Stroke's obviously good. Gust is good. Negate's good. Fry can deal with Bolus the turn it comes down, but probably Fringe. Giant feels awful. Scorching Spitfire doesn't do enough. One more cut. This match is probably going long, so I could probably cut a land. How many lands are in this deck? 24? 25. 25 is too many lands. We also lower our curve a bit. Like, you play two Chandras, but you're drawing the game out long. Like, you're not winning quickly with this deck. The problem is they have Chandra, which we can't counter. We have Temple to smooth out our draw. We have effectively 2 looks at a land. Perfect. One more land. Give me one more land. And now Thought Erasure here, which we will negate. Land. It's not terrible. Okay, so opponent also missed a line drop, which was good. Oy. At least Mystical Dispute's on. We cannot have that resolve. Okay, much better. We got Ionize and Brazen going. I'm probably going to get a Brazen to come down. Just to put some pressure on them. We have another Tyrant Scorn. Murderous Rider. That's fine. We have Ral's Outburst if they want to play the Rider out this turn just as a threat. I think we let this resolve. When we look at it in the grand scheme of things, this isn't going to beat us. It's the subsequent. It's once they have fires out. If we could control them not having fires. Yes. Sorry. Don't know why I was trying to click the image. So again, we're not getting the full utility of this card, but I do want to put pressure on the opponent. The longer the game goes, they just draw into Chandra. Like, Chandra's live regardless now, unfortunately. If they have a second red source. Okay, so that's good. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. I can Aether Gust Chandra on the stack, which buys us another turn. Cool. Okay, we should have this. Okay, much better. Let's take an opt. Got him. So that's how the deck's supposed to go. Basically, tempo your opponent out. Take him out from there. So they still have the Tyrant Scorns in. They have Narset, which may want to have an answer for. Nah, I think we're okay. I think this is the list that we run. Of course, that game we felt cutting the one land, where the other games we drew them all. We'll keep this hand. So I'm actually going to play the island on one, not the temple, so Mystical Dispute's up in case they have Thought Erasure. Okay. And then we'll hold up Negate this turn. So we do have some responses. They're going to take the Negate anyways, so let's just do this. At the very least, it doesn't let them surveil. So here we'll set up the Scry. Keep the Aether Gust. It's our answer to Chandra. Oh, they played Dismal Backwater. I was wondering where they gained the life off of. Okay, so they got fires down on us. So we're probably dead. So I'm gonna Aether Gust now. This does open them up to a Negate. Nicol Bolas. Yeah, crap.
Will resonate throughout the multiverse. My revenge will be painful. You have no weakness.
So we gotta basically take this out here.
These schemes have been foiled.
It's not bad. We've dealt with Bolas. We do have an opt, as long as they don't follow it up with another Bolas. This Murderous Rider will be taken out by Raul's Outburst. turn. Like, they might just have Enter the God Eternals in hand. They didn't bottom the fires, did they? It's interesting. It's also... So they could be holding up a removal. We're gonna take the Disdainful Stroke. Brineborn's most likely dead. Let's just pass the turn, give him the least amount of info as possible. Okay, so we got our Chandra.
I'm Chandra, the immolation sensation.
So what we actually have
No
to
pressure.
do here is 3 to that and then down tick our Chandra.
Warm reception.
That does put a block on us, and they're ahead in the damage race.
Get out of my way. I'm burning up here.
So, deals with that. They likely have Murderous Rider or something in hand. If they have Nico Bolas, yeah, they get it down. We were short of mana. We would have been able to Disdainful and hold it up. Oh, interesting. They don't.
Wipe your bloodline from it. Let your
Unless they have the Murderous Rider.
crumble.
Yep.
Kinda crash and burn here.
Hi, hi, hi. Fabled Passage doesn't do it.
Conceivable
They already have the Bolus down, so the second Disdainful Stroke,
power.
not as useful. Probably just get this out of the way. The Rider here. Getting the first Chandra emblem on us is a little rough. I don't think we have an answer at this point. Buys us a turn. But like, we're not getting anywhere quick with this. They just get to play Nico Bolas next turn. We've already burned through our... Yeah, we're dead there. Alright, so 1 and 2 with the deck. As with most counter decks, once you fall behind, it's a little tough. Them obviously playing an uncounterable Chandra is pretty rough for the deck. So we went 1 and 2 with it. May make sense. Like, Bonecrusher felt really awkward in the list, I think. If we do this again, we do Brineborn, Spectral Sailor, and Brazen Borrower, because you usually want an early threat to push through damage and then counter everything they have. Chandra felt pretty good at the top end. May want that to be your closer of choice. Sideboard wise was fine. There's not much you can do with some of those bigger threats coming down, so it is a clean way to kind of answer there. Mystical Dispute actually felt pretty good. Being able to hold it up turn 1 against your opponent's Thought Erasure worked out pretty well. it's a fun deck. If you have the cards, test it out. It can probably deal, like if you tweak it a bit more with just more counters main, you get rid of the Bonecrusher, you can probably trump Golos field pretty well. Magic Aids had another variation of the deck, just more counters for in the main board. That's pretty much the list. As always, you can catch all my content on my YouTube channel if you missed it. Thanks for all those who tuned in live. And I'm going to wrap this one up. Have a great evening or start of the day wherever you are. And thanks for watching.